Hello, my name is Debbie Naylor. My blog is unforgettableStamping.typepad.com, and today I want to share with you how to make this quick and easy sympathy card that I shared with you on my blog earlier. Don't forget, if you want a complete list of supplies and dimensions for each of the pieces that were cut, just be sure and check that blog post out at your earliest convenience. So to get started, I'm going to use one of the note cards. I've shared these with you in the last couple of videos. It's this note card set that comes from Stampin' Up. It's a set of 20. They're pre-scored cards that, when folded up, they're sized at 3.5 by 5. So you just want to start by folding on the valley side, the bone folder. Get your nice crisp edge there. And then we're going to take this basic black mat and Whisper White organza ribbon. I'm going to do that last. I want to show you how to make that sponged scene. So we're going to start with a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to take my Stays On ink and the image from the Serene Silhouettes stamp set, and I'm just going to ink that up. Make sure it's inked really well. And I'm going to stamp it right here in the bottom left-hand corner, like that. I'm just going to set that aside. Oh, one thing I do want to do while I have my stamp out is I always love to stamp my envelopes, so I'm just going to do that as well, just like that. Put that away. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm using Daffodil Delight and Real Red to do the sponging on here. So I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight with a sponge, and I'm just going to add a little bit of color back behind the trees, and so we kind of have that harvest moon look. So I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to show you how to create a mask using a post-it note. So I'm just going to take a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to take a post-it note, and you want to put the sticky side towards the edge, just like this. Okay, and it gives you a little bit thicker paper to work with. I'm going to take my 1 1/4 inch circle punch, and making sure you get this edge here, I'm going to punch that out. And when you peel this off, you now have a moon. And because it has the sticky on there, I'm just going to make sure that's dry. And I'm just going to lay that on here, okay? Make sure that that's on there well. And now I'm going to continue to add the Daffodil Delight. And what that's going to do is prevent any more ink going to that circular area there. And so this darker Daffodil Delight is going to mix with the Real Red to kind of give you shades of orange if you blend it out. And that's how we're going to get that look. So real quickly, that's that. Now we're going to take the Real Red and apply ink to the rest of the area here. Now you can always add more ink, so I say go lightly at first. Can't take it away once it's committed to paper, so I'm just going to kind of blend that a little bit. You just want to keep going over it and over it and over it until you get that dark red with the halo around the moon. It comes together. It's a little messy, but it comes together pretty well. And pretty quickly, too. Okay, so then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to edge that panel with some of the black. I'm going to take my Stays On ink pad and just rub along the edge. Just the beauty of this technique is that you never get two that look exactly alike, so I love it. Okay, so just give that a second to dry, and then we're just going to peel off, and ta-da, that's how you get that look. It's so easy. So now let's put the card together. Okay, so I'm going to take 7 inches of my Whisper White organza ribbon, and I love this grid paper. It's got the ruler right on there, so we're just going to snip that, and I'm just going to tie a loose knot in there just like that. Okay. And set that aside now. And we're going to come through and I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this panel. Okay, peel those off. Just going to add that to the card. Just like that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is add some ribbon right across the middle. So I kind of want it offset because I'm going to put my sentiment right here. So I'm going to offset that knot over to the left a little bit. I'm just going to bring it around with some tape. Secure that behind this piece, just like that, and set that aside. Now I'm going to add a sentiment just using a scrap piece of the Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to take the Praying for You sentiment from the Thoughts and Prayers stamp set with the real red. Now mine is an older set, so it's double mounted, which is why you see rubber on both sides. I'm just going to stamp that real quickly, just like that. And then on the inside of my card, since I'm making this a sympathy card, I'm going to stamp the sentiment again with real red. So it says, praying for friends to comfort you, faith to uphold you, and loving memories to heal your heart. You know, it's sometimes difficult to write in a sympathy card, so I always like to stamp a sentiment if I have one that will work. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. And going back to this, taking my large oval punch and centering that and punching that right out. Okay, and then I'm going to take my adhesive and just add a little bit, whoops, to the back. And gluing that just like that. And then lastly, just adding some to the back. When I add that to the front of the card, we are all done. So as you can tell, this is a really quick and easy technique, but it looks really hard. It looks like a beautiful piece of art, and all it did was take a few minutes to make. So I hope you enjoyed this technique. I hope you give it a try, and thank you for stopping by. Bye-bye.